Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into a topic that's, well, really critical for modern cloud architecture. And it's also a question you might actually face in senior DevOps or cloud engineering interviews. Our goal here is to equip you with a solid, structured answer so you feel confident tackling these kinds of tough challenges. Okay, let's dive straight in. Here's the interview question we're dissecting today. How would you architect zero trust access to an Azure Kubernetes service, AKS cluster, from on-prem legacy systems using Azure Arc and OPA Gatekeeper?
Right, that's a big one. And it comes up a lot because it hits that hybrid complexity sweet spot. So in a nutshell, you're basically orchestrating several Azure services together. The idea is to bridge your, let's say, older on-prem gear with modern cloud security. Azure Arc is key. That's your bridge. And then OPA Gatekeeper, so your enforcer inside Kubernetes itself. It's really about applying Microsoft's zero trust ideas, verify everything, least privilege, assume breach across this whole hybrid setup, getting that enterprise security sorted.
Okay, great summary. So a bridge and an enforcer, grounded in zero trust. Let's peel back those layers now. We've got zero trust access, on-prem legacy systems, AKS, Azure Arc, and OP Gatekeeper. That's quite a bit to juggle. What's the fundamental challenge we're really solving here, and what do these bits do at a high level? It is a bit of an acronym soup, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating, like I said, is it's not just a cloud problem or just an on-prem problem. It's the intersection. The real challenge is applying these modern cloud-native security principles, the zero trust way of thinking, to those older on-prem systems that, frankly, weren't built for it, especially when they need to touch sensitive cloud resources like AKS.
Right, systems designed in a different era.
Exactly. So the solution uses Azure Arc specifically to create that bridge, to connect that on-prem world to Azure's security controls. Think of Arc as the connective tissue, or maybe universal translator, like you said. It lets the old talk securely to the new.
Okay, the translator. I like that.
And then OPA Gatekeeper comes in. That's the policy engine, the enforcer, right inside the Kubernetes cluster. It makes sure only the right things happen based on policies you define, no exceptions.
So Arc builds the bridge, Gatekeeper guards the city gates within AKS. How do these pieces, Arc and Gatekeeper, technically fit together?
Yeah.
You mentioned Arc extending the control plane. What's the core bit that makes that hybrid management work?
Yeah, so zooming in on the tech, the Azure Arc Resource Bridge is really the foundation here. It's the mechanism that lets you manage things like AKS clusters, even those running on-prem potentially, directly from the Azure portal.
So it really extends Azure into your data center?
Pretty much, yeah. It creates what Azure calls a custom location. Think of it like a mini Azure region hosted on your own infrastructure. This lets admins deploy other Azure services, instances of them, right into their data centers.
Wow, okay. And Gatekeeper, how does that plug in?
Gatekeeper integrates via the Azure Policy add-on for AKS. What this does is it makes Gatekeeper function as a Kubernetes admission controller webhook.
Okay, so it intercepts requests.
Exactly. It's like the bouncer at the club door. It inspects every request trying to create or modify something in the cluster before it's allowed in. This lets you apply rules, safeguards consistently across pods, containers, namespaces, the works. And it's centralized. Manage it all through Azure Policy across your whole hybrid setup. It's a big shift towards policy as code for security.
Policy as code, catching things early. Got it. Now, all this tech serves that zero trust philosophy. What are the guiding principles here? How does zero trust actually look in this specific architecture?
Right, good question. Because zero trust can sound a bit abstract. Here it means following Microsoft's 3 core principles rigorously. First, verify explicitly. Every single access attempt, every authorization is checked against multiple signals. We're talking user identity, yes, but also device health, location, maybe service context, checking for risky behavior. No trust assumed. Verify everything.
Explicitly, no shortcuts.
None. Second, least privilege access. This means just in time, JIT, and just enough access, JEA. You combine these with risk-based adaptive policies. So users get only the minimum access they need only when they need it. No standing privileges.
Which is tough for older systems sometimes.
It is, but that's where some of the tooling comes in, which we'll touch on. And third, assume breach. You design the whole thing assuming attackers are already inside or will be. That means things like network segmentation, micro-segmentation, maybe strong end-to-end encryption, and crucially, continuous monitoring to detect threats quickly.
Verify, least privilege, assume breach. Sounds robust. But how is this defense actually layered? You mentioned multiple services. What does that defense in-depth look like? What specific Azure tools are we talking about?
Yeah, it's definitely a layered cake. You need multiple things working together. At the network security layer, you're using Azure services for some pretty pretty solid firewalling, both at the host level and between networks. Think Azure Firewall, Network Security Groups, NSGs, and Azure Private Link. Private Link is key for that secure, private connection to AKS, avoiding the public internet entirely.
Okay, network secured. What about identity?
Identity and Access Management, or IAM, that leans heavily on Azure Active Directory, now Entra ID. It provides strong, phishing-resistant authentication, think MFA, for everything, mandatory.
Multi-factor, yeah.
And it checks device compliance. So only healthy managed devices get anywhere near the cluster resources.
Right. No random unmanaged laptops connecting.
Exactly. And finally, the policy enforcement layer. That's where the Azure Policy add-on comes back in. It deploys your OPA Gatekeeper policies as constraint templates. Those are the blueprints and constraints, the actual rules applied. This lets you enforce standards like, the OWASP POP 10, CIS Kubernetes benchmarks, specific AKS security baselines, all managed centrally.
Centralized governance. Very powerful. But let's circle back to the tricky part, those legacy systems on-prem. We've built this great fortress, but how do we securely let the old stuff talk to it without, needing a total rewrite?
That's often the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the strategy here is really about smart, secure, hybrid connectivity. We're essentially retrofitting modern security onto older workflows. You start with secure network pipes, Azure VPN gateway, or maybe ExpressRoute for dedicated connections. That's the baseline.
Secure pipes? Check.
Then the Azure Arc agent or extension on those legacy systems is crucial. It allows them to be seen and managed to some extent by Azure's control plane. They can interact with AKS through Azure Resource Manager, adhering to Azure policies even if the app itself is old.
Ah, so Arc helps bridge the management gap, too.
Yes, but here's a key insight going a step further. Introduce a service mesh, like Istio, or maybe Linkerd. A service mesh adds security inside the application communication layer, even for legacy components interacting with microservices.
How does that work?
It provides things like automatic mutual TLS, MTLS, encryption between services, fine-grained traffic control, and much better observability into how things are talking. So even if the legacy app doesn't know about Zero Trust, the mesh can wrap its communications in that secure, encrypted, policy-driven envelope. It's a clever way to extend protection.
Wrapping it in a modern security envelope. Nice. Okay, so the architecture is built, legacy is integrated, but security isn't a one-time setup. How do we know this is all working? How do we monitor it, keep it compliant, especially in a real production environment? What are those operational realities?
Absolutely critical point. Operationalizing this is key. For continuous monitoring, you integrate heavily with tools like Azure Monitor and Microsoft Sentinel. They give you that visibility, security events, policy violations popping up in gatekeepers, weird anomalies and traffic patterns. Sentinel, as a SIM-SOAR, helps correlate and respond.
Okay, so monitoring is covered. Compliance.
Yeah, you might also use Prometheus and Grafana, specifically for digging into gatekeeper metrics, how many requests blocked, policy audit status, things like that. For compliance reporting, the beauty of using Azure Policy is the centralized dashboard. You can see compliance status across multiple clusters. It automates generating reports against frameworks like CIS, NIST, whatever you need. Huge time saver compared to manual audits, and you get detailed audit trails for incidents.
Automation is definitely needed there. What about production? Scalability? Performance?
Good questions.
Yeah.
For production considerations, this architecture scales well to multi-cluster setups because of that centralized Azure policy management. It fights that policy drift you get managing clusters one by one. You can write very specific rules using Rego, OPA's policy language, to match your exact organizational needs.
Rego, right.
High availability is built in. You run multiple gatekeeper replicas. Policy enforcement is distributed. Performance. Well, policy checks happen at admission time, so there is a slight overhead. But usually, it's minimal if you design policies well and give Gatekeeper enough resources. Careful optimization is needed, but it's manageable.
Resource allocation and smart policy design. Key operational points.
Definitely.
Okay.
So if you're prepping for an interview or just trying to wrap your head around this, here are the main takeaways. First, it's a holistic hybrid approach. You need that deep integration, especially Arc as the bridge, Gatekeeper as the enforcer. Second, it's built on Microsoft's Zero Trust principles. Verify explicitly, least privilege, assume breach. Apply them everywhere. Third, think multi-layered security. Network, identity, policy, they all have to work together. Defense in depth. Fourth, legacy integration is possible and crucial. Use secure connectivity, Arc extensions, and consider a service mesh to wrap those older apps. And finally, operational excellence matters. Robust monitoring, automated compliance, plus thinking about scale, HA, and performance from the start.
That's a fantastic breakdown, a really sophisticated answer to what is, let's face it, a complex but super relevant challenge today. What strikes me most thinking about this is how adaptable these cloud tools like Arc and policy engines are, reaching right back into legacy environments. It really changes the game for hybrid cloud security.
It absolutely does. It makes true, consistent hybrid security achievable in ways that were much harder just a few years ago. That's all for this topic. Stay tuned for the next DevOps Cloud interview question.